All right, okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Gabriel, and I'm the mentor of 10x Hub. So glad to see you guys here. You guys may type in the chat room. You guys may type one in the chat room or hello in the chat room to let me know if you can hear me. Hello, hello. Okay, so today's agenda I will be doing first. I will talk about the chart analysis about XAU, USD, and BDC and ETH. And after that, I will talk about what what we need to look for, especially for the next month, because today is the first day of May, which means today is the first day of the month. And because today it is very important for us to plan for the whole month actually. All right, so without further ado, we will start off with XAU first. So today is Labor Day. Let me delete everything first. So today is Labor Day, so which means in Asia market and Europe market, actually it is currently, today is bank holiday. So that's why during in the morning, we can see a very little volume in the market. But when almost comes into Europe market, we can see a volume, a very big drop happens over here. And right now, we are going into US market. So what will we be looking for next? Okay, so let us start off with 15 minute first, because usually I will look at 15-minute chart because I'm a day trader. So I will usually look at daily trend. I want to catch a daily trend, whether today is an uptrend or the downtrend. Usually I will use 15 minute, and 15 minute is the best time frame for us to identify daily trend. So let me see. Actually, currently we are in 5 minutes. We are looking for a reversal soon actually. If we look at 4 hour support and resistance, I can see a very big resistance over here, first of all. And I have told my students since last 2 weeks actually, we need to do some short entry over here because we can see a very big resistance over here. And right now we are actually at 4 hour support area. So how do we identify a support and resistance? First of all, what is support and resistance? Support is actually where is a demand zone where a lot of people will buy their gold spot in demand zone, and people will buy in this zone. If it is a resistance zone, a lot of people will do sell their supply. So which means support you can call it as demand zone, resistance you can call it as a supply zone. So currently we are at a 4 hour demand zone. And in 5 minutes, I can see a change of trends, slowly change of trends over here. So this is change of characters, which is point number one. And we can see that the low is getting higher also. And we also can see a confirmation of trend over here. So in 5 minutes, it is actually, we already can consider a change of trend from downtrend turning into uptrend. But in 15-minute chart currently, we couldn't see anything yet. Because currently, if we want to identify a change of trend, we need to see to close below this point, 4542, in order for us to identify a change of trends from turning from uptrend, turning into a downtrend. Because currently, in 15-minute chart, we are looking at an uptrend right now. But if we look at the bigger time frame, if we're looking at 1 hour graph, actually we are having a small downtrend as well, because actually gold today retraces back to a very important resistance area. I told my students about this as well. So we have retraces back to this resistance area, and this resistance area is 1 hour resistance, and it is also a very big resistance because it has touches a lot of times already at this point. So how do we identify a support and resistance? First of all, we need to have at least more than 3 to 4 points. So how many points over here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So just now in the morning, I think, or in the midnight, yesterday midnight, but today morning also back to this place. And after back to this area, and then it forms a big drop over here. So that's why just now afternoon in Malaysia time, we can see a very big drop over here. So currently we are in this zone. So what I can foresee is, because today is Friday already, and later midnight the market will close soon. So, and some more, yesterday Powell is the last day of the board of Federal Reserve. So actually a lot of things that we can see, because I know that Donald Trump is sending his own people to be the board of Fed. So what I can look for actually for the next few months, because most probably Trump will want his people to lower down the interest rate. What if the interest rate is lowered in in the US? If, because currently the interest rate is currently 3.75%. If it is lowered by, let's say, 0.25%, we can see a lot of money will going into the market again. A lot of liquidity will enter the market again. So which means if the interest rate is really lowered down for the next few months, what I can foresee is a lot of liquidity will starting to enter the market, and we can see the increase of volatility in the market, because since after the Iran war started, which is somewhere around 28th of February, until the lowest point it drops, it is actually somewhere around 4,100. And after this fall, what I can see is a lot of consolidation happen, and this consolidation happened around 44 days already. So which means if US really lower down the interest rate, what I can see is a lot of money will enter to XAU and of course to crypto, because actually US will use, because first of all, US is one of the world largest gold reserve. They have the biggest gold reserve. If they really lower down the interest, US will borrow a lot of money from the Fed. If they really borrow a lot of money from the Fed, where will they put the money in? First of all, they will invest in oil, of course. Second thing, probably they will buy gold. So if they really buy gold, in the next few months, we can see a very big volatility in the gold market, and also for crypto as well. So later I will analyze about crypto. So right now, what I can see is, before this new chairman appointed in Fed, I can see that we will be consolidating in this phase, because a lot of uncertainties. And some more, today is the first day of the month. So we really need to wait for next Monday for us to identify a more solid trend. If we're looking at monthly graph, if we're looking at a monthly graph, the previous month, it forms a doji candle over here. What does a doji candle means? Actually, a doji candle means there is we don't have a very clear direction, because how does a doji form actually? Actually, doji means we do not have a clear direction. This is the first thing. no clear direction. And the second thing is buyer and seller are fighting each other. So that's why in the previous month, which is month of April, if you're looking at 4-hour graph, we can see after the Iran's war, it dropped a lot. And after that, it pumps a lot again. And it comes down again. So which means buyer and seller, there are a lot of uncertainties in the whole market. So that's why a lot of buyers and seller, they because in this previous drop, a lot of panic seller. So right now, a lot of investor, they are holding their position. They don't dare to do anything first. Yes. So hopefully, actually, in my point of view, hopefully, US will lower down the interest rate. It's because that I love volatility. Because if the market really have volatility, I can make money. I can make use of this volatility to make money. So that's why I'm very look up to if Fed really lower down the interest rate. So this is what I will look for lah. Most probably lah. If Trump's really sent their man to be the chairman of Fed. Okay. So right now, in 15-minute chart, we don't have a clear direction yet because currently we are still in uptrend. We are currently still in uptrend. Okay, so right now we have a very big retracement over here. If it really breaks below this point, actually change of characters happen. CH happen at this point, 4542.4. Yes. So right now we are in this SNR going up and down, going up and down. And today, I don't think we'll have much volume really because today, first of all, it's the first day of the month, and a lot of bank is currently in holiday because today is Labor Day. But what we can see is next Monday it is very important because next Monday will identify the whole month market, the whole month movement next Monday. Okay, we will need to wait for next Monday. Because today I really cannot see anything yet because there's not much things for us to identify. What I can see is currently we are really in uptrend because over here this is a sign of turning from downtrend turning into uptrend because this is uptrend change of characters, and then we can see a confirmation trend of over here, and we do not see a breakdown below this point because this is a starting point of the whole trend. So yeah, so I'm still looking for a long entry. The most is this 5-minute will turn the trend from downtrend turning into uptrend because currently 15-minute is uptrend, but 5-minute over here is downtrend. But right now, what I can see is it is turning trend from downtrend slowly turning into uptrend. So later, if it retraces back to this white color line, we can consider to do a long entry over here. If it retraces back to this here white color line, because there is change of characters over here, which is point number one, and then we can see a lower high over here and a confirmation trend turning from downtrend turning into uptrend over here. So right now I'm waiting for a point 2A. So if you were wondering what is point 2A, you may talk to my team. Okay, my team will come and let you know. So we will enter at 2A, this point. Okay, 4580. So this is the point 2A actually. This is the point 2A. We will enter at this point. So later, I don't know, somewhere around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, I think most probably will happen this point 2A. So we can wait for this. Alright, so this is for gold. Let me do a quick summarize about it. 15-minute currently is in uptrend, and 5-minute we are turning from a downtrend turning into an uptrend right now. Alright, so let's go to BDC. Okay, so for BDC, first of all, we look at monthly graph first. Okay, for monthly graph, currently we are sitting in a very important price level, which is this resistance area in weekly graph. So right now, okay, let me see, 4 hours. Okay, so currently in day chart and weekly chart, we are sitting in a very important resistance area, but I don't see any signs of turning downtrend yet, even though we are sitting in this resistance area. It is because if we really want the price to retrace from this resistance area, we will need 4-hour graph to have a confirmation of change of trends. Because right now, I don't see any change of trends right here. First of all, change of trends, we need to break below this point, which is 73,700, this price level. If it closes below this price level, then change of characters happens. But right now, I don't see any signs of turning downtrend yet. And I can see in 1 hour, actually it is turning uptrend though. Yes. So currently 4 hours is uptrend. Let me write it down. 4-hour graph, it is uptrend. And in 1 hour, it is also turning uptrend right now. Yes, turning uptrend. And then point number 2 happens over here. And the confirmation trends happens over here. So right now, in 1 hour graph, we are turning from a downtrend turning into an uptrend. So right now, I don't see any signs of getting resisted by this point actually, by this resistance area. So if the price break above this previous high, what we can see is there is a high chances of breaking this resistance point actually. If it really broke above this point, which is 79,000. If it broke above 79,000, there is a slight chances it will break this 81,000 resistance. If it really close above it, then we need to wait for next week market. Because usually, how do I trade? First of all, I will trade what I see. I don't predict. I trade what I see. And this is how to become a profitable trader. We don't predict the market. We look at what the market is currently moving into. Because right now what I can see is, and what I can identify is, in 4-hour graph, it is uptrend. In 1 hour graph, it is also uptrend right now. So, and we couldn't do any long entry right now also, because we're currently sitting in a very big resistance area. Unless we are doing a short-term trading, which is we are using 15 minutes to enter trade. Let me see. But I don't think any trade right now because we already fly up above. Unless we enter at this morning. This morning perhaps we have entry, but not right now in 15-minute chart. Yes, this morning already happened. Our point 2A. This is point 2A. So we already missed out. I think it's somewhere around midnight in Malaysia, which is somewhere around 4 p.m. in the night. And right now we are breaking this previous high in 1 hour graph. So if this really closed above this previous high, most likely it will come back to this 79,200. Yes, what I can see is if this one really closed candle after 35 minutes, if it really closed above this previous high, the body, most likely it will go above this area. Yes, which is the 4 hour graph previous high. Alright, so if we really want to look for a long entry, perhaps I think we need to wait for a retracement in 15 minutes first. What I need to see is at least it goes down a bit, somewhere around this area. Then we can look for a long entry. Because this is a flip zone. Okay, so if we really want to do a long entry, we can look at a 15-minute chart, which traces back to this area, which is 76,450. Yes. After it reaches to this point, then we need to look for a confirmation of change of trend turning from a small downtrend turning into an uptrend. So we will need to look for point number 1, 2, 3 to be happen, which is the first BOS. Yes, what I want to see is something like this. Then we will enter somewhere around here. We need to have at least the third time of getting higher of the low point, which is the second higher low. We need to wait for this point to be happen in order for us to do a long entry. So this is for Bitcoin. Currently it is uptrend. Let me do a quick summarize about it. In 4 hour graph, it is uptrend, and in 1 hour graph, it is also uptrend. So for ETH, actually ETH, I told my students this morning, actually this white color line, we can do a short entry, but we need to look for BTC. We need to refer to BTC because if BTC is currently in uptrend, we cannot do any short entry for ETH. It is because BTC is the big boss of the whole cryptocurrency. If the big boss wanted to go up, all the altcoin, included ETH, Solana, and everything, will also go up as well. So if we really want to do a short entry, we need to look for BTC as well. Because currently we are turning from a uptrend turning into a downtrend already, which a confirmation of trend also happened over here, which is point number 3. Okay, so in ETH, let me look at a smaller time frame. In 1 hour graph, not much of things to see. What I can see is just a sideways because currently ETH, it is very weak actually. How do I identify whether ETH is it weak? We look at ETH BTC. If we're looking at ETH BTC, if it is dropping, actually this is a sign of getting weaker in ETH because we are using Ethereum to go against Bitcoin. So if ETH and BTC it is going down, which is ETH it is going very weak. And since 14th of April, ETH has been going down very big movement. Yes, so which means ETH, if we want to do short entry, we can consider ETH But if we would like to do a long entry, then we can look for Bitcoin. So currently, Bitcoin, it is going uptrend, and today I couldn't find any entry for Bitcoin. Perhaps we need to wait for next week already. And if we really have a long entry between ETH and Bitcoin, we will go for Bitcoin. If we have a short entry between BTC and ETH, obviously I will go for Ethereum. And this is how I trade. I will refer to ETH BTC if I'm trading cryptocurrency. Alright, so before I finish with the market analysis, I need to summarize for XAU again. So currently XAU, it is confirmed already. It is turning from a downtrend turning into uptrend. If it retraces back to this white color line, we will look for a long entry, and I assume it will retraces back to somewhere around 4585. Yes, 4585, somewhere around this area. Because this white color line will slowly go up. This EMA, it will retraces back to somewhere around 4585. Yes. But if it is really somewhere around 12 a.m. in the midnight and it retraces back to this white color line during midnight, I don't suggest you guys to enter this trade anymore because 6 a.m. is the closing market and we don't hold the trade during weekend because it is very, very dangerous because we couldn't predict what will happen during the weekend. Especially currently we are in the midst of war. There are so many wars happening around the world. Iran, Israel, and of course the US. And a lot of uncertainties happens. Almost every day we'll have a new thing happen. I will put it in this way. So that's why um, don't hold the trade even if it didn't TP. Okay? So let's wait for this point to form, this point 2A. If you guys are clear about it, you guys may type OK in the chat room to let me know. You guys may type OK in the chat room to let me know. So don't hold the trade. Remember, don't hold the trade throughout the whole weekend. If it really does not have any entry opportunity by tonight, then don't enter. We can wait for next week, no problem. Because trading every day have entry opportunities, and we couldn't force an entry out. Every entry will have their own reasons to be happen. So if really there is no entry, let's just wait for next weekend. Alright, so let me do an announcement as well. So every day from Monday to Friday at this time, 8 p.m. Malaysia time, which is a GMT plus 8. 30 minutes before the US market, because US market started at 8:30. So we will start off this live session 30 minutes before the US market. So you guys may come in every day from Monday to Friday. Alright? So in Saturday and Sunday, XAU is closed market, and us as a trader, we also need to take a rest in our own emotions and our mentality. You may use this time to go and hang out with your friends, or you spend your time with your own self. And of course, do backtests. Practice, it is very important as a trader. Practice make perfect. And of course, the last thing is to heal your mentality, because trading every day, we will face losses and win, and we will face a lot of emotion issue. So heal yourself, is it is very important. And usually what I will do during weekend, I will go out with my loved one and of course my family. Or sometimes hang out with friends to heal my soul. Alright, so that's all for today. And I see you guys next Monday. And hopefully it will chase us back to this area by later before 12 p.m. Alright, see you guys next Monday. Bye bye. Alright, you're welcome.